So 60, I've got 10 years on there. So what about you at 70 or 65 or 70? Do you see yourself ever winding down in any way, shape or form?
No chance, Ray. I still love it. I still enjoy coming in here. And we're in a transition phase in this firm at the moment. We've had this massive influx of young ones. I'm not sure what are they Gen Zs or millennials? I'm not really sure what they are.
Not up to
No, they're right. Anyways, I mean, I would hazard a guess that a majority or a significant portion of this firm is under the age of 30 now. That's a whole new injection of new blood into the firm. And it's really revitalised the firm over the last year or two. This coming Friday, I think there are 5 members of my firm being admitted as solicitors. Young ones, law clients that are moving through the ranks, including my youngest. So she's being admitted as a solicitor on Friday, and I'm moving the admission of 3 of them. So this keeps you young, keeps you, vital and engaged and whatnot. So I'm still enjoying it as much as I ever have.
Okay, back to business. People watching this have never used a lawyer before. They've never ever, they've walked past those offices and thought, I've got a problem. Oh no, I won't go in there. It's probably going to cost me too much and I don't know whether it's the right thing to do. What's your advice to those people who have a legal problem? And you cover all aspects of law.
Absolutely. Make a call. It will cost you nothing to make a call, to make an inquiry. People often know themselves whether they actually have a claim or not. They know whether something's gone wrong, it could have been avoided, it was someone else's fault. They understand those basic principles. And those are the basic principles that usually underlie most personal injury claims. I've been injured, it wasn't my fault, I'm out of pocket now, I should be compensated. So just make a phone call, make an inquiry of the firm. It will cost you nothing and we'll be able to tell you through our client services division whether we can assist or not.
One of the things I remember reading commercials about was this free legal service you offered to regional New South Wales, where you went to centres and lawyers were there, dispatched by you and your firm, and people were invited to come in to get legal advice. Where did that come from? How did that happen?
I don't think I can take all the credit for it. I think it was brainstormed by a lot of my seniors at the time, arising out of the partnership that we enjoy with a lot of these community and sporting organisations. And we do offer free legal clinics once or twice a month at the various clubs. Blacktown Workers, Mounties, for example, Mudgee, Ballina, Wollongong, the Entrance, Newcastle, etc., where anyone can come in, make an appointment, or come in, walk off the street and see a fully qualified solicitor at no cost in relation to any legal inquiry they have.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a great community service. It really embeds us in the community as well, makes us part and parcel of that club to really exploit the partnership that we enjoy with them.
The only thing similar to that I can think of, Singo, my dear mate and former boss, and Jerry Harvey threw some money in and got dental clinics going around the remote parts of New South Wales where people who didn't have any money, and I mean dental care is very important, and they were doing that on a regular basis.
Again, because Singo and Jerry Harvey are in a position where they can actually give to the community. I'm sure that would have been extraordinarily rewarding for them to do something like that.
So people come to Brydens and they get that initial consultation. How does that actually work in practice? So they make a phone call, there's no cost for the advice, but when it moves to the next stage, what happens then?
Yeah, what happens is they make an inquiry of the firm, they'll speak to our client services division, and they'll be booked in to see a solicitor almost immediately. It can either be face-to-face, it can be by way of Zoom or a telephone conference, whatever's convenient. We have service offices all throughout New South Wales, so we can cater to everyone's needs. Depending on the type of matter, for example, if it's a personal injury matter, it's of course a free initial consult. The solicitor will take detailed instructions as to what occurred, will provide advice firstly as to whether there is a claim, secondly, how the claim will be prosecuted, how it proceeds through the court system or through the commission, and thirdly, what the value of that claim will be, what they are entitled to recover.
Now, I recently recorded a whole lot of commercials for Brydens that are being played at the moment. And I'm trying to think of one aspect of law I didn't cover in those commercials, because you offer a service for everything.
Well, this firm has always focused on personal injury litigation. That's always been our bread and butter. But because we've grown, we've been able to leverage off that expertise into other areas. So, for example, we run a large workers' compensation claim for a client who receives a payout. One of the first things they might do is buy a house. Well, so we then took on a conveyancing division, so we can do that. There are other instances where a client may have a family law concern, so we open a family law division. Superannuation, TPD. Some of them get into trouble with the law on occasion. we'll admit. So we'll have a criminal law division as well. But I think the underlying commonality of all this is people who find themselves in trouble. I don't act for the big end of town. I don't act for banks or insurers. I don't do mergers and acquisitions. We act for ordinary mums and dads, ordinary Australians out there who find themselves in a spot of bother, usually through no fault of their own, and we help them out.
Now, there's one final thing I want to
Okay.
address. One final thing. I come to your office regularly, and I'm greeted by lovely ladies on the reception.
Yes.
And they're always happy and smiling. I walked in today, and there's a photo of the principal of the firm, yourself, with Employee of the Month. So I said to the young lady, I said, listen, love, I said, I don't want to be rude, but this is a rule. I said, how can this bloke be Employee of the Month? And she said, no, I am. And I said, well, why is there a photo of him behind you? She said, well, it's a bit of a ritual. Started out as a joke, but if you're an Employee of the Month, you get a photo of Lee Hagipantelis behind you for the duration of that month. Now, is there any way, not that she complained, I don't want to get into trouble, is there any way we possibly have a little notation on that the lady on the switch or the lady on reception or one of the lawyers is actually the Employee of the Month, not you?
No, we'll take that on board, but...
hang on, take that on board, you'll do nothing about it.
No, we'll take that on board, but I can't add to that story because everything you've said is 100% true. It did start off as a bit of a joke, but now it is every month at the morning tea. It's handed off from the previous month's recipient to the following month. There's usually a few words exchanged about how meaningful it is to them. And so people have taken it on board as a badge of honour. Now I get shipped around the office backwards and forwards. So now it's at reception for all to see. But we might make an amendment to it to put actually the employer's name on it as such. But anyways.
Well, from a personal point of view, I've had a professional involvement with your company for nearly 3 decades now. And I have to say that through all of that, and telling people to give you a call or come and see you, that I've had not one complaint about the service they've received. And I think that's comes back to you because, and I don't wish to embarrass you, but you have been a great supporter of mine. You've been a great supporter of your clients, and I think you're a really good bloke. And I think the story about where you started and where you got to is indicative of the sort of person you are.
Well, let me reciprocate those comments by just saying that I think we share a similar story, very humble beginnings, to where you became from a taxi driver to the most influential broadcaster. We could not think of a better ambassador for Brydens Lawyers. You represent authenticity, integrity, and honesty, the sort of principles that underline this firm. For me, I couldn't be happier with this partnership, Ray. I think it works and works really well.
You're a good man. All the best, Lee.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.